Okay, so you've settled on different types of companies or mechanisms to help you actually buy and sell the stocks, right? Now, maybe you're with a full service broker, or maybe with an online discount broker, but now that you're with them, you got to tell them that the stocks you want to buy and sell, and there's different types of ways that, as far as you can set that up and how you want to buy that stock and how you want to buy and sell that stock, and that's called order types. Now, if you are investing, let's say, in a mutual fund or exchange-traded fund, where all that's being handled by either the manager who handles the index or an active manager who's doing all that for you, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff about order types. So mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, forget it, you don't have to worry about order types. But if you're ordering, let's say, through an E-Trade or a TD Ameritrade, or you're ordering through Merrill Lynch, they're going to have different types of order types. You have to tell them what is your order. It's more than just saying, I want to buy and sell a stock. You need to tell them, obviously, I want to buy this stock and what the ticker symbol is, like the 3 or 4 digit name, like Wells Fargo Corporation, the bank is WFC, Wells Fargo Corp, so that's the ticker symbol. And how many shares of that stock you want to buy too. And depending on the full service or discount broker, maybe they have a minimum amount of dollar amount you got to spend or minimum amount of shares you have to buy. So you want to look into that too. So basically you want to know the stock you want to buy, its ticker symbol, the online stuff can help you with that. Your full service person can do all that for you. How many shares you want to buy, which is, how much dollars you want to spend. So if a share is $100 per share and you buy 5 shares, well, you need to come up with $500, $500 US, right? So the ticker, the shares, and now you got to tell them what type of order type do you want to have. And here we're going to look at the most common order types that are out there, ones that almost everybody uses, 90% of the investors use, but I tell you, you can get really exotic too, real weird and more exotic types of order types. Well, let's look at the 4 main order types that people use day in, day out, every day in the stock market. The first order type we'll look at is a market order. So when they say, I want to place a market order, I want to buy 100 shares of Apple Corporation and I want it to be a market order. So what that means is you're buying and selling immediately at the current market or current price that it's selling at, right? So you're not waiting, there's no delay. It's as soon as they can process the transaction, they have someone who will sell them the shares, it happens immediately. And certainly with very liquid or stocks are traded on the most biggest exchanges and things, that's happened almost pretty much instantaneously once they put the order in. So a market order means I'm buying or selling immediately, and I'm buying whatever the current price is. So if the price goes down in the next 5 minutes, like 100%, well, then you're buying at that price. So understand a market order, you're buying and selling immediately at the current price. A limit order is where you want to set some maximum or minimum prices that you're willing to buy or sell at. So maybe the stock's trading at $50 and you put in a limit order and say, oh, it's trading at $50, I want to buy 100 shares, but my limit order is a 52 on the max, so that means I don't want to pay more than 52, and maybe a 48 on the, let's say on the max. On the limit order on the max part would be that. Or let's say if you want to sell a stock and it's currently selling at $50, maybe you don't want to sell it for anything less than $50 or $49, let's say, and if it dropped all of a sudden real fast to 35, you don't want to sell it, you want to hold it. So limit order is really setting the maximum and minimum prices you're willing to buy and sell. So that market order, it's just executed immediately, whatever the market price is. Limit order, you get a little bit more control on the maximum and minimums and setting a range for what you want to sell it at. So why wouldn't you always do it as a limit order? It sounds like more protection for you, right? Well, it is, but it also costs more per transaction. It's part of the fee structure and how these brokerage companies, whether they're online or full service, make money. So market order would be less expensive than a limit order. But either way, you can use it depending on what you're looking to do. Another one is called a stop order, and really is known as a stop loss order. And that's basically you're leaving an order out there. It's going to sit out there and it's going to be dormant until a certain price condition is met. So if you bought a stock at here and you want to protect your downside. Let's say you bought it at $50 US and if it got down to 45, you want to sell it right away. You don't want to write it all the way down to 30 or 20 or anything like that. You just want to stop that loss. That's why it's called a stop loss or stop order. And you can just leave that order out there for a period of time. They might ask you to renew it, and there's some costs associated with that. And then it only gets active, it only happens if that was to happen. So if you bought it at 50 and you put a stop loss at 45 and the stock keeps going up to 50, 60 and on and on and on, and that's great. That stop loss order never comes into play. It's never executed. It's only executed if the stock comes down. And so it's basically an order that's out there that's existing and ready to implement once the condition is met. Once again, a little bit more costly than, let's say, a market order where you're buying and selling immediately. Related to that too is a good till canceled or GTC order. but you typically know it's good till canceled. That means you place an order to buy or sell is in place, and it's in place until canceled, right? Now the brokerage limit, and that's canceled by you, for example. I say, I want to buy this stock at, whatever, this price, and I want to leave this type of order in place, this limit order or this market order. I want to leave this in place. Well, not in a market order necessarily because that's immediate, but I want to put some type of order out there and leave it in place and leave that good till it's canceled. Now, and that canceled by me, the person putting in the order. Now, the brokerage house may limit the time on it. Typically, it's around, let's say, 90 days, both online or full service brokers. And they may limit the time you could have this good till canceled out there without having to renew it and incur some extra fees. But the idea is I have the order out there, it can sit out there, and it doesn't take place until certain conditions are met. So maybe I want to buy a stock, and maybe the stock is trading right now at $50, and it might go up to 51 or 52, and I don't want to pay that much, but heck, if that stock's a good stock and it ever got down to 45, boy, I would buy it in a heartbeat, right? Well, you place a good till canceled order, that says if this stock goes to $45, buy it at 45, or it might go down to 44 and a half or something right around there. But once it hits 45, the order is implemented, and that's good till canceled. So maybe it's 52, 53, 49, and it's bouncing around, and then the 90 days passes, and the brokerage house or the online discount broker says, hey, your thing's going to expire. It's coming up in 90 days. Do you want to renew it? You can decide whether you want to renew it and incur some additional fees or just let the order be canceled or cancel the order. So that's a good till canceled order. So if you're not sure to take a market and just buy it right away, you can put a good till canceled order in there. Okay, so those are the four most common ways. You see how it builds from just a basic market order of I want to buy this stock or sell this stock and at the current price to getting things a little bit more exotic, a little bit more difficult maybe. It goes from there even further. But if you can master these four, you're perfectly fine. And in most cases, I'm just using market orders all the time anyways. It's not like stocks are selling at 50 and they immediately in 2 minutes drop to 30 or something. I guess it happens, but and certainly when everything's going down and people are selling like crazy, you can have that volatility maybe, but or buying like crazy. We have extreme volatility, but usually you don't have to worry about some of these other orders as much, but they're out there and you can use them to your advantage. The only advice I'd have, the big advice I have for any of this order type, and really most things like I said are market orders, pretty easy to understand, buy and sell immediately at the market or current price, but really understand the order you're placing there. So if you're putting in a limit order or stop loss or good till canceled or some other type of really weird exotic order out there, just ask yourself, do I understand what I'm doing here? Do I understand what my order is, and am I understanding what I'm trying to get out of it? Why am I placing a limit order here? Do I need to incur that extra cost and have a limit order? Could I just do a market order? Or do I need a stop loss? Can I just be watching the market and not have that? That kind of thing. So it's something to ask yourself as far as the order. But the main thing, understand what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish with that order. What is your strategy behind that order if you're doing something exotic more so than a market order? And is it really worth it to do it? Those are questions you would answer yourself. But just really, for the most part, understand the orders you're placing. And you'll be way ahead compared to most folks who are just not sure. They're just trying different stuff. So when in doubt, just use simple market orders, buy the stock, and be done with it.